The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
Welcome back out on the Golden Bear Sports Network. Chris Malanga alongside Coach Brock Homeyer, the Bryan Golden Bears. And Coach, they say there's no thing as moral victories, but I did some looking back at your schedule, and the 4 games you lost by 4 points or less, you win those 4 games, and we're looking at 7-8. That has just got to frustrate you to no end, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's been going through my mind a couple times.
You had a tough game we watched the Archbold game, and you guys played really well against Archbold. You lost by 3 to a team that last year had pretty much had their way shooting, and you guys held them to 43 points. You lost by 3 to open up the league with a loss. But then that Elida game, you kind of led that game most of the way. They started coming back towards the end, and then at the very end there, just kind of a questionable foul held ball situation, and you end up losing 52-51. But I got to believe you're pretty proud of your guys during this stretch of how they've been playing.
Yeah, I mean, we usually just cut the schedule in half through the first 11. I don't like our record, but I'm happy with a lot of things I'm seeing on the floor. It's just, comparing the 2 years of last year and this year, it is very different. We're in situations we never were in last year. Guys are maturing. I see progress in each player, and I think that's the main goal.
And we've seen different players step up on different nights. The other night against Archbold, I think Evan Cox had 4 points, and then last night, or against Elida, he had 14. And so when you have different guys that any night can step up and take you a little bit further, that's got to be encouraging.
Yeah, looking down our starting 5, 6 guys, I mean, it's 8 a game, 7 a game, 10 a game, 11 a game, 12 a game, 4 a game, 5. I mean, we don't have that guy that can just go off for 20. So we have to do it with everybody that can get in.
A little bit by committee, and I think you guys are shooting better than you had been earlier in the season, so that's encouraging as well. But now you go and welcome Delta in on a home game, second league game, I guess, at home. And Delta is sitting at 7-2, and a second-year coach just like yourself. And what do you look at when you look at Delta?
I mean, everything. They're going to play 2-3 zone, and they're going to sit in the 2-3 zone, and they're going to make you make shots. And offensively, they're going to come off a lot of screens and try and wear you out. But I mean, my most concerning thing with Delta is obviously we struggle to shoot it. And if you play against a 2-3 zone for 4 quarters, you have to make shots. And they're going to make us make shots because they pack it in. Their bigs are going to have to be able to do things that they're not used to doing, skip passes and getting in good spots. But I've had a week to work on it. I mean, zones always scare a coach when shooting's not your forte, but we worked on it all week. We shot a ton, got thousands of shots up this week, trying to get our confidence going, and we'll see what happens.
I want to talk a little bit about on the injury front. Langendorfer was out with a concussion and played sparingly. Is he back to 100% right now?
He's not 100, but we're slowly trying to get him in. I mean, we'll practice 2 days and he'll get nicked again, and then it'll be like, he'll be woozy a little bit, and we'll kind of, take steps off and give him a break. So, I mean, anytime he gets back to 100, something happens again. And then I am very, very, very cautious with him, especially with minutes in a game. We'd love to see him, be starting and doing everything we can, but he is, a magnet. His head is a magnet. Something is going on.
That's funny. But we have to talk about the play of Joe Watson coming in, starting in that interim when Maddox hasn't been able to go, and he's really giving you some quality minutes.
Yeah, he's doing. He knows his role, and he's doing a good job of actually. I think last year he got very little varsity minutes, and he was the leader on the JV team and leading scorer. And I think that helped him. I think his confidence coming into the year was very high because he was the man last year on JV. And his time came, Maddox went down, and he's accepted the role. He's doing a good job.
I just think that it's been really nice to watch the players. As you said, every player's improved, and it's just been really good to watch. And if you continue to improve, good things can only happen, right?
You would think. You would think, yes.
You've got
the 7 games within 5 points. Yes, we are doing better.
You are. So you've got a doubleheader Friday night, having Delta at home, and then you head to Van Wert. And when you have back-to-backs like that, it seems like the boys' schedule sets up that way. Is that a positive thing that you have the whole week to kind of practice and then you got the 2 games focused? Or would you prefer more of a split where you play a game and then you have a couple of days to fix things and then go play another one?
No, I got no problem with Friday, Saturday games. I think, that's what I was used to, and I think that gives the coach plenty of time to go over both teams. I think that these guys are young enough they can bounce back after a big game on a Friday, and it's what makes it fun. It's what you do in the weekend. So I'm all about Friday, Saturday games.
All right, well, Coach, we wish you the best of luck tonight. Hopefully have a good crowd to get in it and maybe sneak out a win against Delta.
Hopefully. Thank you for having me.
Yep, Coach Brock Homeyer of the Bryan Golden Bears is going to take this time out, come back with more after this on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
Why do so many people travel to Jason Eats Automotive Services in Edgerton when they want their vehicles repaired? Because Dave Brown and Sam Bailey have over 60 years of experience fixing the problems that other mechanics couldn't. They work on all makes and models, and they specialize on imports. Recently, they have expanded their service area by almost 50%, and they've hired Eston Knerk to their staff. So if you have a vehicle, foreign or domestic, that you want fixed right the first time, take it to Jason Dietsch Automotive Services on the east side of Edgerton.
Job with this group. Well, they are currently averaging 48.6 points per game. They're only allowing 38.7 points per game, and they're shooting 44% from the field, 42% from 3, 52% from the line, and they beat Stryker by 10 on Saturday. Justin Ruppel dropped a game-high 15 points for Delta, and Bryce Gillen chipped in 12 points. James Ruppel had 8, but Bryce Gillen is the guy we're really talking about. He's averaging 15.9 points per game.
Yeah, he is 10th in the area, the 6-county area in scoring. He is 3rd in three-point field goal percentage. He's the 2nd leading scorer in the NWOAL. And he's not afraid to shoot threes. I mean, at 46% shooting threes, I mean, he's taking 7 a game, so it's not like he's only shooting 1 or 2 per game. He's a young man that can flat out play.
Yeah, he absolutely is. And, averaging 15.9 points per game, he's shooting 79% from the line. And so he can get you points at the line, too. And, by the way, he also has 4 rebounds a game and 1.67 steals a game, if you're looking at that. And so, that's a pretty good player right there, and he's got a nice supporting cast around him. Like the Golden Bears are starting some a sophomore, a couple juniors, a couple seniors. They've got 4 seniors and a junior. Again, lots of experience there coming back. So that makes things a little bit easier for you.
Yeah, I'll be really curious how Bryan decides to defend Bryce Gillen. One of the things that does jump at you about his stats is he only averages about 2.5 free throws a game. So there's no question that his strength is a catch and shoot guy or to make those shots from 15 to 20 feet. So I'm curious if Bryan will not step out and try to force him to put the ball on the floor. Because again, on the stat sheet, without seeing him play this year, it sure appears as though he does not want to get the ball to the basket. He's much more of a standstill or a catch and shoot guy.
Absolutely. Well, we are in the Oberlin-Turnbull countdown to tip-off. We're going to take a timeout. Come back with our keys to the game after this on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
I'm Tom Turnbull of Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory. Family-owned, family-focused, celebrating our 100th anniversary, 2022.
It's great working with family. The relationship we have with one another allows us to focus on your family and help guide you through the planning process.
We focus in on your family's needs to make sure that everything is done the way that you and your family want.
Right now, our family wants a Golden Bear victory.
Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory. Family-owned, family-focused.
Here at the Williams County Veteran Service Office, our mission is plain and simple. We are here to serve our local Williams County veterans and their dependents. We are staffed with trained service officers who have the compassion and understanding to assist their fellow veterans in obtaining all federal and state benefits that they have earned. Additionally, we provide emergency financial assistance and transportation to VA medical centers. So if you're a veteran or a dependent of a veteran, stop in today and see how we can help you at the Williams County Veteran Service Office.
And welcome out to the Bears Den, where tonight the Bryan Golden Bears host the Delta Panthers here on the Golden Bears Sports Network. Good evening. I'm Chris Malanga alongside Tim Meister. Bryan sitting at 3-8 overall, 0-1 in the NWOAL. Meanwhile, the Delta Panthers 7-2, 0-1 in the NWOAL. Bears looking for their first league win here. It's their second league game after losing to Archbold by 3 last week. Let's take a look at our keys to the game, Tim Meister. Keys to the game sponsored by Carlin Company. The Carlin Company Realty and Auctioneers has been your hometown real estate company for over 45 years. They've consistently remained #1 in Williams County and the surrounding area since 2007. Call us for all your real estate needs. Let's start out with those Delta Panthers.
Yeah, they certainly want to handle the ball pressure because Bryan's going to try to get out, I think, and step into them and be very physical. The second thing they want to do is they want to minimize Bryan's points in the paint. They don't want to let a Sam Harrell or a Joe Watson all of a sudden become real effective down there. And then the third thing, and I think this may be the biggest key for Delta, is they want to rebound on both ends of the floor. Obviously, defense is the name of their game, only giving up 38 points, and they're playing that 2-3 zone that Coach alluded to. But out of the zone, you have to rebound well. So I think the key for them is they need to rebound well, both defensively and offensively.
Do you think that 2-3 zone will minimize Bryan's points in the paint? Because Bryan's going to have to be a little bit better from outside, right?
Well, there's no question that if you watch Bryan play, and certainly Delta has scouted them, when they've struggled shooting from the perimeter. So I would be absolutely shocked if you saw a Delta player step outside of that three-point line to defend anybody initially, and they're going to try to take away the paint, and it can. And Brock said it the best. When you're a coach and you don't shoot well, that 2-3 zone, you just have nightmares about it.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the keys of the game for the Golden Bears.
They need to be off. They need to have some offensive consistency. They can't go through those stretches where they just don't score. The second thing they have to do is they have to keep Bryce Gillen from getting open looks. As we alluded to, he's a standstill shooter. He's a catch and shoot guy. Let's force him to put the ball on the floor and get it to the basket. And then the third thing, I think this helps with #1, create some turnovers on the defensive end, convert those into easy baskets. And Bryan has enough quickness and physicality that they may be able to do that tonight.
All right, we've got Bryan and Delta coming up here on the Golden Bear Sports Network. Excited to have you with us, whether you're listening on Q96.5, watching on BryanSports.com, or watching on WSN on the rebroadcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Delta 7-2, 0-1 in the NWOAL. Golden Bears 3-8, 0-1 in the league. So league still a thing with one game in. You can start making a run here in the league and never know what could happen. So we're going to send it down to our public address announcer as we are in the Oberlin-Turnbull pregame show getting set for tip-off.
School of Ohio High School Athletic Association, we welcome you to Bryan for tonight's basketball game between the Delta Panthers and your Bryan Golden Bears. Ladies and gentlemen, America is the land of the free and home of the brave, and that freedom has been afforded to us by the dedication and sacrifice of brave servicemen and women currently deployed throughout our communities around the world, and many others who have come before us. To thank these extraordinary men and women, would you please rise in the playing of our national anthem.
And tonight's national anthem being presented by Veteran Services of Williams County.
The officials assigned to this game have met the requirements set by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and have been their important role in tonight's games. Our officials are Mr. Gary Hortzman, Mr. Timothy Copsey, and Mr. Travis Umberberth. Gentlemen, welcome to Bryan.
Game officials being sponsored by Tri-State Vision Center. Tri-State Vision Center has been serving the area since 1977. Contact us at either our Bryan or Montpelier offices for all of your eye care needs.
Speak and act responsibly and show courtesy and respect for your fellow fans, the officials and coaches, the administration, authority figures, and of course, your team and their opponents. Let's make today's contest great and remember to respect the game. Thank you. Now to meet the teams. First, for the visitors on the scoreboard, the Delta Panthers. Starters for Delta, number 0, Justin Ruppel. And number 3, Briar Knapp. Number 12, Bryce Gillen. And number 20, James Ruppel. And number 24, Nolan Reisner. Varsity coaches Matt Brighton, assisted by Ron Rollow, Adam Conrad, and Nick Newborn. And now for your Golden Bears. At a guard, a 6'1" junior, number 2, Jace Kepler. At a guard, a 6'1" senior, number 4, Evan Cox. And a forward, a 6'1" senior, number 10, Joe Watson. And a forward, a 5'11" junior, number 24, Sam Harrell. And at a forward, a 6'2" sophomore, number 32, Carter Dominic. Varsity coaches Brock Holmeyer, assisted by Kevin Holmeyer, Casey Spitnell, JV coach Jaden Valderez, and freshman coach Maurice Zuber.
All right, there you have it. Our starting lineups being sponsored by Yoder Mechanical and Custom Fabrications. Call Yoder Mechanical and Custom Fabrications for all your mechanical piping needs at 419-519-3111. Yoder Mechanical and Custom Fabrication, your sponsor for the lineups. Golden Bears not starting Maddox Langendorfer, as you heard in the pregame, still a little bit of injury there. He doesn't want him to get hurt, and I totally respect that decision.
Yeah, you're always looking out for the best of the kid, but it's also a pretty nice option to bring off the bench, Trish, too. So if he's going to play some limited minutes, I'm sure they're going to pick spots where he can be really effective.
Watson will tip off against Gillen here in the middle. It is tipped away, and Justin Ruppel will come down with it for Delta. Panthers wearing black uniforms with white numerals. Anytime you get black, you get a little nervous about those numerals, but yes. I can see the white on there. That is good. Delta with the basketball. Bears out, giving some pressure defense. And Delta continue to move it across the perimeter. Brian Knapp has it now. He'll bounce pass it over to Gillen. Gillen looking to drive. Runs into a double team, then dishes back to Reisner. Reisner, top of the key, back to Knapp. Knapp will give back over to Gillen. Gillen skips it over to Reisner again. Looking to find Ruppel streaking through there, unable to find him. They do find Gillen, though, puts up a shot, no good. The rebound tipped right back to Gillen. So Delta has the offensive rebound. Bears were going for it, but just tipped it away.
Really a nice job by both teams. Bryan defended that very well. Delta was very patient. They got Bryce Gill in that catch and shoot jumper we talked about.
And here's a shot from Justin Ruppel. It is no good. Rebound will come down to Joe Watson. Watson will give to Kepler to bring it up. Here's that 2-3 zone that Coach mentioned. They're actually playing a guy out just a little bit far.
Yeah, what they're doing, Chris, they're just matching up out of that. So they're going to try to play a zone with man principles, trying to defend man-to-man the guy in your area.
They get it underneath, and Watson will put it up and draw the contact. Nice feed there by Carter Dominic into Watson.
Great feed.
So that foul is going to be on number 0, Justin Ruppel. We got both a Justin and a James Ruppel.
Twins.
So, yep.
And here's how old I am. I coached when their dad played. And their dad's the head football coach at Delta. A great family. Those are probably 2 kids who are going to act like coaches' sons and know what's going on and just have a very heady part about them.
Free throws being brought to you by Welling Construction. Welling Construction is a 3rd-generation family-owned general contractor for quality custom homes, major renovation projects, and commercial work. Contact us at 419-636-3712. And Joe Watson makes both those free throws, so it's 2-0 Bears to start. 6:33 here, remaining first quarter. Ruppel with it, Justin. Justin will dish over to Knapp. Knapp will find Nolan Reisner, who will go baseline. He'll get bumped by Joe Watson. And Reisner, I believe that's going to be on the floor, but we'll see what they call. Yep, that's just going to be on the floor.
That's going to be a tough matchup for Joe because Reisner is very, very athletic, very strong. I believe he's in the top 15 in the area in rebounding.
So inbound comes to Briar Knapp, and Knapp will hand to Bryce Gillen. Gillen will try to come in, put up a shot, and we should get a traveling violation. So that'll be a turnover for the Panthers. And now the Panthers are going to press the Golden Bears.
No question that we had talked in pregame, Chris. Okay. Bryce Gillen's comfort level is not getting into the basket. His comfort level is shooting. So great job by Jace Kepler of forcing him to put the ball on the floor.
They got a little pressured cooker going on now, but able to get it over to Cox. Cox is now trapped here on the near side. He'll swing it around. What a move to get it to Kepler. Now to Harold. Harold gives to Carter Dominic, and he can't catch it underneath. That was a great move there.
Yeah, nice job by Evan of keeping his poise and not panicking. And really a great cut by Carter and a great look by Sam. They were just off a bit.
5:52 remaining first quarter. Bears lead 2-0 on Joe Watson's 2 foul shots. Bears having a little bit of pressure coming up, and Justin Ruppel will catch over the timeline, so they'll reset between the circles. Ruppel will go left side, bounce pass it over to Gillen. Gillen into the corner now for Knapp. Knapp will dribble back out between the circles, nearly stolen away by Jace Kepler. Justin Ruppel will have it on the right side now, then give back up to Knapp, top of the key. Knapp over to Ruppel again. Ruppel goes baseline. They close on him. Shot is missed, but we're going to get a foul on Carter Dominic as they went in for the shot. That'll be the Bears' second foul, Carter Dominic's first. And that's going to put Justin Ruppel to the line.
He really made a nice read there, realized the help side defense had stepped up into the lane and gave him a clear shot to the basket. And then went up strong and took the contact and got the shot off.
Ruppel, a 48% foul shooter.
So this is a stat, Chris, I think we need to watch because Delta shoots about 51% from the free throw line, and that could cause them trouble in close games and down the line, where Bryan's are very respectable, 62, 63%. So I'm curious how well Delta does shoot free throws tonight.
Bears get the rebound, and it's a little ugly coming down the court, but they have it now. And it's knocked away and back into the backcourt, and it's tipped off. So Kepler will try to pick it up and fire over the timeline. They get it to Cox. Cox will feed underneath to Carter Dominic, who makes the guys go. Misses the shot underneath. Rebound is knocked around, and we're going to get a jump ball. And I got to give heads up to Joe Watson for going in and getting that jump ball after the last game. Might have been a little gun shy, as it were, but he did a great job of getting in there and figuring that one out.
Yeah, great, nice job by Evan Cox of breaking the pressure and finding the open guy. Both teams just have a very difficult time getting settled in offensively right now.
They're looking to get it into Sam Harold, who was making a cut, and 2 Delta Panthers stepped in front of it, went off one of them, and so the Bears will inbound again. And Coach was right, they are packing it in the paint. Dominic will give a tall inbound to Jace Kepler. Kepler will dribble between the circles. Look at his options as Delta's in that 2-3 zone. Kepler will go left side, then give to Joe Watson. Watson right back to Kepler. Right over to Sam Harold now back to Kepler. Bears looking to be patient, get a good shot. If they can get some outside shots to fall, that changes the whole complexion of this game.
It does, and it gets some matchup zone. You're looking for 2 things. Getting to the high post like they did right there. That's the weakness of the zone. The second thing to do is overloading and making that matchup overload too. By the way, great pass, great look, great finish by Joe Watson right there.
Joe Watson got a nice feed there from Sam Harold. Now they leave Bryce Gillen wide open, misses the 3. Rebound comes down to Cox. And Delta will back it up with 4 minutes remaining. The main stop scoreboard shows 4-0 Bears, first quarter.
Good start by Bryan defensively. Really haven't given them a lot of easy looks.
Another turnover for the Bears, and this time Gillen tips the pass and goes the rest of the way.
Until I just mentioned that.
And Delta gets back into the press.
And that's you can see from Bryce Gillen. He's really athletic. He's very smart. Great job of anticipating that pass. So he's going to find a way to score.
They'll feed it cross court, skip pass over to Cox, who is getting pressured, and they're going to say he stepped on the line, I think.
I think they got Ruppel for a block.
Oh, they'd get him for a foul. James Ruppel. The way the Delta coach reacted, I thought he was clapping for them stepping on the line, but I think he was clapping in frustration. So Sam Harold will inbound here right in front of the Delta bench, basically. Kepler has it now. Kepler looks to drive, then he'll kick out to Cox. Cox back to Kepler in the corner. Back out to Cox. Kepler has it now, left wing to Sam Harold. Harold back to Cox. Cox looks to drive, gets double teamed, and it's tipped away again by Bryce Gillen, and Gillen puts up an easy layup, and it's Joe Watson 4, Bryce Gillen 4, basically. 4-4.
Nice.
And we got a nice move there. Jace Kepler goes up, misses the shot. Lots of contact, no foul called. And now we're going to get a foul on the rebound on Watson. That just was not a good possession right there for the Bears.
No, I don't think Jace had the numbers. He had the. I think when he made the initial move, he thought he had the numbers. But again, I don't really fault that because it's hard to tell a kid to pass up a 3-footer. He made an aggressive play. I would rather see a player do that early in the game and then maybe back him off later on than not to be aggressive early on.
All right, so 4-4, still 2:50 remaining here. First quarter. Delta has possession of the basketball. Ruppel will feed it underneath to Reisner, who puts up a shot off glass and good. Delta takes the first lead of the game at 6-4.
Nice post up and nice pass. Delta does a really good job of recognizing what they want to do offensively.
Sam Harold shuffled his feet as they were trying to clear the ball, and he just can't do that.
That's what pressure does. Sometimes it gets you more in a mental hurry than a physical hurry.
Got a 30-second timeout. Timeout's being sponsored today by Stockman Lawn Service for lawn care, snow removal, fertilizer, and spraying. Call Stockman Lawn Service at 419-636-6572. Since it's just a 30-second timeout, let's talk a little bit about what you've seen so far here in this first 6 minutes or so.
Well, the zone, and I saw Bryan actually played a little bit of a zone that last possession as well. It certainly slowed the pace, Chris. I mean, this is a game, and Delta likes to play games in the 40s, so does Bryan, so I anticipate that. Bryan is early on focused on attacking Delta's zone through the high post. That's where they've had the most success. So we'll see if they're eventually going to overload his side as well. And then on the offensive side, Delta's done a nice job of creating some turnovers, get some easy baskets. Obviously, Bryce Gillen's made a couple of really nice plays in the open floor.
He really has. Justin Ruppel has it now on the right side. We'll give over to Bryce Gillen. Gillen working against Jace Kepler. They get it in the corner to Justin Ruppel. Ruppel working against Langendorfer, who came into the game. Now all by himself is Reisner, who puts up a shot, no good. And Cox will come down with the rebound. Bears will go the other way with 2 minutes to play here, first quarter. The Bears are going to have to start getting some outside shooting going. Langendorfer thought about it. Now he'll step away and feed it underneath to Carter Dominic, and it's knocked away. Justin Ruppel just stepped in front of that one, and it's going the other way quickly.
Maddox kind of got himself a no man's land there.
And it's going to go off of the Golden Bears, they're going to say. Didn't signal that very quickly.
A little hesitation.
That's right. All right, so Jude Gibbons will inbound it, and it's knocked back out. Now a 3-ball for Gillen, and it's nothing but net, and that's 9-4. That's what we're talking about in pregame.
Yeah, you just cannot give him open looks like that where he can get his feet set. He doesn't have any pressure.
Golden Bears are turning over again as Gillen kind of got in the way of things, and it went off of Cox's fingertips, and they've just been disruptive everywhere.
Yeah, Chris, to me, this is a critical possession for Bryan because you don't want to get down 11-4. I mean, to me, get a defensive stop, come down, get a basket, kind of get the ship righted.
Justin Ruppel will go baseline. He'll run into Pels, and they're going to call an offensive foul.
That is a great defensive play by Aiden Pels. He saw that coming about 3 dribbles before it happened. I just watched him eat down the lane to get in a help side position. What a terrific play by that young man.
Aiden Pels may not have a ton on the scoring column. He's just averaging 0.8 points per game. But what he brings you on the defensive end is just unbelievable. Delta coming out in the press again. Cox will get it over the timeline, go to the corner by the basket. He will feed it to Langenderfer, who nearly loses it, and then they'll get it back to Kepler, where they'll try to reset. Delta remains in that 2-3 zone where they've been here the whole night. They feed underneath to Pels. Pels is immediately double teamed. Kick back to Cox. Now Cox will try to move. Cox spin moves, puts up a shot, draws the contact, and will head to the line. So if you're not going to make the baskets, at least draw the contact.
Yeah, and that's, again, the third way you beat a zone. We talk about the matchup. You either hit at the high post, you overload it. The other piece of that is dribble drive penetration. You saw Evan get that right there and get a shot and go up strong and draw the contact.
First one for Cox is good. He's 65% from the line. 9-5 with 55 seconds remaining here, first quarter. Carter Dominic is going to sit down for Joe Watson, and then we're going to see Dylan Koenig come in, and Kepler's going to take a breath. Second one coming for Cox. That one rattles, no good. Rebound knocked out of bounds, and it should stay with the Golden Bears.
Nice play by Joe Watson.
So Bears will inbound under their own basket. A chance here to get another bucket and cut this lead to 1 possession. They inbound to Pels. Pels will give to Langenderfer. Langenderfer will give back to Dylan Koenig. Bears maybe playing for the last shot, or maybe just playing for a good shot.
I think at this point, if I'm Coach Omar, I think I certainly consider a last shot if they're staying in the zone. Your team got a little rattled. You held your ground down there. You come back. You have a chance now to get within 2 or 1 at the end of the quarter. I'm very content to play for a last shot. And I'm also going to run my favorite set against this zone. I'm sure they've worked on it all week, so let's see how they attack this.
Koenig with the basketball will dribble through the center circle with the B on it. And now they're going to set to run with 15 seconds. Cox has it, now back. And now Watson has it, now back to Koenig. Koenig, 8 seconds, feeds it underneath. Langenderfer turns, fires, good! 9-7. And Delta won't get a shot off. And at the end of the first quarter of play, the main stop scoreboard shows 9-7 in favor of Delta. Back after this on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
One thing that hasn't changed here at Bryan Ford Lincoln is our commitment to service. It's in everything we do. It's in our mission statement. Our goal is simple: customers for life. Kick back in our newly renovated service lounge or business center. We pick up and deliver throughout the local area at no charge. So the next time you need service on your Ford or competitive make vehicle, come out and see us at Bryan Ford Lincoln and see why we've earned Ford Motor Company's President's Award 7 times running.
I wanted to learn the skills to get ahead in my career, and thanks to Northwest State, I'm well on my way to a great job with a local company.
NSCC is my community's college.
Contact our advising center today or stop by.
Toll free 1-800-329-4040.
Bears got a bucket with 3 seconds left in the first quarter to get things back within reason. 9-7 Delta. And we talked to one of your keys to the game was to watch number 12, and we have a stat on number 12.
Yeah, he has 7 of their 9 points. He has at least 3 steals that have led to baskets. He's made multiple plays on the defensive end.
Feed it underneath. They were trying to look for Reisner. It went off his hands too tall, and the Bears will have it.
There's an old saying, don't let their best player beat you. So we'll see how coach adjusts to this.
Harold with the basketball will skip it all the way across court to Watson. Now they get it across, and Harold has it again. Running into Jace Kepler. A little bit of confusion there, But the Bears will reset with 7:28 remaining here on the main stop scoreboard, second quarter.
Delta does a really nice job with their pressure and then getting back into this matchup zone. I mean, they just do a terrific job of executing what they want done.
There's not a lot of spots to, usually when you transition, there's a little hole there, but they haven't had many holes tonight. Cox will have it.
I think that's a real credit to Coach Brighton. He realizes they're not a big team, so he uses the athletic ability that he has on all 5 positions.
Harold will miss a shot, and then it'll get down. It was partially blocked, and of course Gillen has it. Gillen will give to Briar Knapp. Knapp working against Jace Kepler.
Bryan switching to a 2-3 zone themselves.
Well, you got to believe that maybe Delta knows how to play against this, since they probably work on this a little bit in practice.
Well, I think the one thing it does is it does a nice job with Coach Homeyer switching up defenses, so they're not getting the same look time after time. Also keeps the pace of the game where he wants it.
3 ball in the air is no good for Gillen. Rebound will come down to the Bears. Cox will bring it up quickly. Cox will drive through the lane, put up a shot, and good. Oh my gosh, a falling forward shot by Evan Cox.
You know what? Great recognition by Evan that nobody picked up the ball on the defensive end of the floor. It's a perfect read. Nice play by Evan.
9-9, 6:11 remaining here, second quarter. Gillen with it. We'll give in the inside to Reisner. Now back out, top of the key to Briar Knapp. Knapp still has it, working against Kepler, and he hits the deck. They quickly get it over to Gibbons. Gibbons will drive, work on Sam, and we're going to get a foul on Sam. Tell you what, if Sam had kept his feet, I think that's a charge.
Yeah, I did not have a great angle, and Tim Copsey, who's a longtime official, did signal the foul was with his body, so I wonder if Sam got him down low.
So that'll put Delta to the line. Jude Gibbons is a 100% free throw shooter. And I think he's only shot 4, so now he's 5 for 5. But still, you look at 100%, I mean, you know it is.
I can tell you, when your team shoots 51% as a coach, you don't care how many he shot, just make them.
Next one is up and good, and he remains perfect. 11-9, Bears trail Delta, 5:48 remaining second quarter. Delta with a press defense, then they'll get really quickly back into their zone. Kepler with the basketball will dribble through the circle, and Bears content to kind of slow things down. Kepler has the basketball. He'll go right side to Sam Harold. Harold thought about a 3, now step around a player, put up a shot, no good. Rebound comes down to James Ruppel. And Delta will bring down quickly. Gibbons has it, goes cross court to Gillen. Now they skip it over to Knapp, top of the key. Back to Gillen now. Now over to Gibbons. Gibbons fires down to Reisner. Now Knapp has it down low. Shot up, no good. Rebound comes down to Delta, and they'll quickly move it around again. Knapp with the basketball. Over to Gibbons. Delta now being patient. Little steal action going on. Kepler hit it, but able to get it back was Knapp. Shot is missed by Delta. Rebound comes down, and it is going to be Delta basketball.
Back-to-back possession where Coach Holmeyer and Bryan really got the shot they wanted Delta to take, and he didn't finish off the play with a defensive rebound. Now you're giving them a third chance in one possession. That's just tough to defend.
Ruppel with the basketball. He's working on Carter Dominic. Now they come in, knocked away, but able to shoot over Maddox Langendorfer. Langendorfer has the basketball. He'll drive down. Stop, look for some help. Give to Kepler in the key. Then Kepler dishes back out to Cox. Cox will dribble inside to the foul line, miss the shot. Rebound comes down to Delta. I really wish on the outside we try to take one of them. Got to make one. You know what I mean? It changes the whole concept.
Yeah, it seems like they're a little hesitant to shoot the 3 tonight. But again, maybe that's something they talked about. That early in the game, they wanted to establish that they would attack the zone with the dribble, and then maybe make that adjustment, see if Delta would come out and guard them a little more, or maybe they would create a scenario where they had a mismatch somewhere.
Briar Knapp has the basketball, working against Cox. He'll give over to Gillen. Gillen looks to drive, then dishes at the last second to Gibbons. Gibbons comes through the key, then gives to Risner. Now back to Gillen, left wing.
Yeah, Bryan switched back to man, and again, you see the Delta kids trying to figure out what defense they're in. So again, I want to repeat a really nice job by Brock Holmeyer switching up defenses to confuse Delta somewhat.
Gillen will give it to Knapp. Knapp in between the circles, hands off to Gibbons. 3:23 remaining here. Second quarter, 13-9, Delta lead. Underneath, shot up and no good. I don't know how that didn't go in. It hit every part of the rim and then looked like part of the net. And it'll stay here with Delta. Dylan Koenig and Aiden Pels will check back in for the Golden Bears. And they left Gillen wide open, and he buried a three. Coach Holmeyer is not pleased with that right there.
No, and they've talked about that all week, and he said that's the one thing we cannot do, so I'm sure he's not pleased with that whatsoever.
And they nearly turn it over again as Langendorfer couldn't handle the pass. He has it now. We'll go downside, and we're going to get a foul. It'll be out of bounds, but it'll be on number 2, Jude Gibbons. That'll be his first. 16-9 now, back up to 7 with 2:57 remaining. So anytime you get multiple possessions down here, that's really going to be something that, you know, causes you pain.
4 straight misses that they've not secured the defensive rebound, and that you just cannot give teams that many possessions.
Langendorfer has the basketball. We'll give to Koenig. Koenig gives to Langendorfer again. Now underneath to Watson. Watson works hard, puts up a shot and good. Joe Watson now with 6 points.
Hey, that young man has really come on this year, has progressed. And I watched the entire possession. He posts up about as hard as any kid on the floor. I mean, he just gets big and wide and makes himself available.
Briar Knapp loses the basketball, and Knapp shakes off Cox, and no whistle called, and then another underneath contact, and Maddox Langendorfer again hits the deck. Bears get that one.
About one more hip check, someone would have had to call icing.
I can't believe that. My goodness. They're letting physicality happen, aren't they?
They are, but they've been consistent, so the kids can adjust to it.
Koenig with the basketball. In between the circles, we'll give to Cox. Now back to Koenig. Now they'll go left side to Pels, now back to Koenig. Now to Langendorfer, back to Koenig. They're just kind of moving it around on the outside, waiting for somebody to be able to get a cut. Cox will give to Langendorfer. Langendorfer looks to move inside, then Cox has it. Cox will drive, Cox will kick out. Koenig, and they steal it away as James Ruppel comes in and does that, and he puts up a shot off glass and good. That makes it 18-11. I tell you what, somebody needs to take a shot.
Yeah, and that's the 8th point Delta's had off Bryan turnovers, and that is a huge difference in a 7-point game.
Absolutely. Langendorfer will give to Pels. Now they'll give to Cox. Minute 10 remaining here, second quarter. 18-11. Bears trail the Panthers. Bears led it 4-2. They get it underneath to Watson. Watson able to save it to Pels as he was going out of bounds. Pels now double teamed. And Pels tries to make a move, and he's going to draw a foul. That's going to be on James Ruppel, and the coach is not pleased with that. Ruppel's not pleased with that. What did you think?
As coaches, we tell officials, you just bailed them out. You know, Aiden picked up his dribble. He was double teamed. He was trapped. Again, as an old coach, if you're asking me the question, I'd rather see that call not made. Either a jump ball or let it play on.
Somebody forgot to go out. We had 6 on the court. I don't think they'll let us play that way, but now
Pels
comes out. Dominic will inbound. Shot up by Kepler off glass and good. 50 seconds to play. 18-13 Panthers.
Nice hard cut by Jace Kepler and a really nice finish at the basket.
Gillen with the basketball going the other way for Delta. Reisner has it now. Now back to Gibbons. Delta probably playing for the final shot now.
So
29.
really interesting here, Bryan only has 14 fouls. I would not let Delta inside of 10 seconds get off a shot. I would get up and I would take 2 fouls to disrupt them and not let anything happen. And this is a great time to maybe go try to trap somebody. But don't worry about fouling because you still have fouls to give before the 1-and-1.
And look at that, Kepler stole it away, but Delta got it right back. 3 ball for Gillen in the air is no good. Rebound comes down to Delta. Nope, they're going to say it went to Bryan. So Bryan's got 4.9. They did exactly what you said. Came up to make some contact. Caused something to happen. Problem is Delta's out in the press, and they got to be careful because they only have 4.9. Kepler brings it up, loses it, and he will travel with the basketball. And Delta has 1 second. The thing is that is on this side of the inbound because he never crossed the timeline.
I know who I'm not letting catch it.
Yeah, absolutely. Joe Watson doing his best effort to disrupt that, and they aren't able to get the shot to go at the buzzer, so Nolan Reisner tried that. So we're here at halftime. The halftime score, Delta 18, Bryan 13. Going to take this timeout. Come back with more after this on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
I wanted to learn the skills to get ahead in my career, and thanks to Northwest State, I'm well on my way to a great job with a local company.
NSCC is my community's college.
Contact our advising center today or stop by.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
When you're looking for that unusual part like a battery for your key fob, or everyday car parts like windshield washing fluid, wipers, motor oil or filters, antifreeze or batteries, don't forget to stop by your local Napa store in Bryan. They have the parts in stock. If you're buying any of these parts from anyone other than Napa in Bryan, you're paying too much. Why do so many people travel to Jason Eats Automotive Services in Edgerton when they want their vehicles repaired? Because Dave Brown and Sam Bailey have over 60 years of experience fixing the problems that other mechanics couldn't. They work on all makes and models, and they specialize on imports. Recently, they have expanded their service area by almost 50%, and they've hired...
Here at the Williams County Veteran Service Office, our mission is plain and simple. We are here to serve our local Williams County veterans and their dependents. We are staffed with trained service officers who have the compassion and understanding to assist their fellow veterans in obtaining all federal and state benefits that they have earned. Additionally, we provide emergency financial assistance and transportation to VA medical centers. So if you're a veteran or a dependent of a veteran,
support, a $25 donation gives you a window clean. Purple level is a $50 donation, which gives you the choice of a cinch sack or a poncho.
On the Golden Bear Sports Network, 18-13 Delta leads. Chris Malanga and Tim Meister here with you live from the Bears Den. And Tim, I think overall the Golden Bears played pretty decent in that first half.
They did. The big thing they didn't do was take care of the basketball, which led to some easy points for Delta. And they went through just about a 3-minute stretch where they just couldn't get a defensive rebound. Gave Delta some extra possessions, which Delta capitalized on.
Absolutely.
Those two items are the difference in the score right now.
Absolutely. You're in the Bryan Athletic Boosters halftime show. Why don't we take a look at some halftime stats here? Did any other Delta Panthers get into some scoring, or is it all still Bryce Gillen's show?
Yeah, well, scoring on both sides was limited to not very many players. So for Delta, Jude Gibbons had 2. Reisner had 2. One of the Ruppel twins, I want to get them right, James Ruppel had 4. And then leading the way, of course, is Bryce Gillen, who we talked about before the game, and I'm sure we'll have that conversation here again in a second. For Bryan, only 4 people scored that half. Maddox Langendorfer with 2. Kepler with 2. Evan Cox with 3. And then leading the way for Bryan was Joe Watson with 6. And I thought, again, Joe did a lot of really good things, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, Joe Watson has really stepped up here in this game, or not in this game, in this season, where he's had to, they've had to find another guy because they've had some issues with injuries and things like that, and he's really been their guy, and he's done a great job with it.
And he's a kid that should be a role model for a lot of younger kids because he didn't play varsity as a junior. I mean, here's a kid who spent his whole time playing basketball. He's playing JV as a junior. He understood his role, but he just kept working at it, kept trying to get better at basketball, put in the time, took advantage of now having a terrific senior year.
Absolutely, and as Coach said, I don't know if he said this in the pregame or just he and I were talking, but he said, that leader of the JV last year really helped him and set him up, because last year he did play JV, but he was the leader of that JV basketball team.
Right, there's no question that you can develop a lot of sophomores and juniors at the JV level who impact you at the varsity level their senior year. Lord knows I had many of them along the lines. We've seen it happen at other schools too. So again, real kudos to Joe for hanging in there and taking full advantage when his opportunity arose.
All right, it is halftime here. The main stop scoreboard shows 18-13 in favor of Delta. Main stops open when you need them. You're always near a main stop. Don't forget about Thirsty Thursday every Thursday. Going to take a 60-second timeout. Come back with more after this on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
If you want a quality education with transfer opportunities to four-year schools, Northwest State is your community's college.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. So if you want to talk to your kids, you got to get it trending. I was just trying to get your attention.
Could I just ask me?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
When you're looking for that unusual part like a battery for your key fob, or everyday car parts like windshield washing fluid, wipers, motor oil or filters, antifreeze or batteries, don't forget to stop by your local Napa store in Bryan. They have the parts in stock. If you're buying any of these parts from anyone other than Napa in Bryan, you're paying too much.
294040.
Back out on the Golden Bear Sports Network. It's halftime here, 18-13. The main stop scoreboard shows Delta in favor of Bryan. And we've got the Little Bears cheerleaders out there. And it is always fun to see the little kids come out and cheer, isn't it?
Oh, it's awesome. And you can't find a group of people having more fun than those young ladies on the floor right now.
Absolutely. You're in the Bryan Athletic Boosters halftime show. Let's thank our sponsors bringing you the game. Williams County Veteran Services, Laub Auto Parts, Jason Dietsch Automotive Services, Starks Plumbing and Heating, Real Estate Advantage, Fackler Monument, Danielle Van Atta Agency, Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, Northwest State Community College, Bryan Parks and Rec, Bryan Ford Lincoln, the Bryan Athletic Boosters, Andrews O'Neill and Lowe, and newcomer Schaefer, Spangler, Briner, and Rakes, all bringing you the game tonight here on the Golden Bear Sports Network. And we thank our sponsors, because without our sponsors, we would not have any broadcast to do. Let's chat about the Golden Bears, the rest of the schedule coming up. The Golden Bears coming up, the Lady Bears tomorrow are going to face a very tough St. Mary's team. Bears sitting at 3 in their district, and the St. Mary's team is in 5, so this is proceeding. And, really interesting to see what the Golden Bears will do against the St. Mary's. St. Mary's has had some tough times coming up.
And I believe that's a rematch from last year's district game at Patrick Henry.
It is. And the Golden Bears, boys Golden Bears, it doesn't end. They're going to Van Wert, and then they face Patrick Henry, and then Fairview, and then Liberty Center. And Delta is upcoming. They have the tough of the league here, too. They're going to go to Archbold, they're going to Fayette, North Baltimore, at Bowling Green, at Swanton. So, once you hit league season, it's a bloodbath. It's a run.
It is a grind, and we talk to our kids all the time. This is, it's been 17 years, Chris, since I coached. But we talked at length about this league and just the day in, day out grind it is. And how many times during the season you see the team that may be at the bottom of the league or second to last, and they beat someone in the top 3. You just don't know. It's such a competitive and good league.
All right, let's take a look at some scores from around the region. These are all boys contests unless I otherwise state. In the third quarter, does Wayne Trace over Tenora 51-40. Defiance in the second quarter up on Kenton 29-20. It is Liberty Center down to Archbold 26-24 at the half. At the half also, it is Swanton 30, Wauseon 22. In the WBL, it is Salina 25, Elida 19. That's at the half as well. Let's see if we got any more showcasing here. In the first quarter, Bluffton is over Lipsick 19-9. And boy, if this score is accurate, I don't know if it is or not, but OG over Bath 26-1. Wow. It could be accurate, I guess.
Chris, after going 0-14 in 11 years against Ottawa Glandorf, I would not bet my paycheck that that's not an accurate score.
There you go. At 18-13, your halftime score here as we're getting set for the second quarter of action here on the Golden Bears.
We just verified it is 26-1 OG.
26-1 OG. Oh, man. That WBL is tough.
Yeah, did you see the box score last week? OG played St. Mary's, and St. Mary's has Austin Parks, who's an Ohio State signee. Mm-hmm. OG has a junior with the last name of White, can't think of his first name, and he's being recruited very heavily by some Big Ten teams. He went off for 30 in the first half, 44 total, and I told multiple people there's a reason he knew Ohio State was watching. And there's a reason for that. OG is just a basketball factor.
It is.
It's incredible what they have done.
It is, and what's even more amazing is when they do well in the playoffs, and those kids in football, those kids come back late and they start their season late, and it seems like they just jump right back in the driver's seat. There's no rust to knock off.
No, it's incredible. And it's the same names year after year after year.
It is. So we are starting the second half here. The Bears will have the basketball. And Jace Kepler comes to the middle of the key. Backdoor cut by Sam Harold, up and in.
Yeah, that was really set up by a high post screen. And I believe, again, that was Joe Watson who set the screen, let Jace get open and drew a 2-on-1 situation. Nice play overall. I'd like to see Bryan get off to a fast start in his third quarter.
Absolutely. 7:37 remaining, third quarter, 18-15 Delta. Bryan Knapp with the basketball. He'll give over to Nolan Reisner. Reisner working against Watson. Reisner will drive, spin move, gets double teamed, tries to work it around it. Kepler tips the pass away, and the Bears going the other way, and we're going to get a foul on Bryan Knapp.
Great play by Jace Kepler. Got his hand out of the passing lane, got a deflection, then most importantly, decided for that 50-50 ball, he was going to be the kid to get there first. That's nothing but an effort and hustle play right there.
And he was able to draw the foul, and so the Bears will get to inbound under their own basket. Cox with it. Cox will feed. Tall pass. Knocked away again. The Bears lose an inbound pass. Sam Harold got hit the deck. They skip it across the court to Reisner, who launches a three. It's an air ball. Bears will let it go out of bounds, and it'll go right back.
Yeah, and I think Bryan will be comfortable letting Reisner take that shot all night. Although this is second or third three he's taken, so apparently he's comfortable shooting them.
Yep. He has more threes than we have as a team. So attempts. Sam Harold with the basketball. Harold will skip it across to Cox. Now they'll reset with Kepler. Trying to get Carter Dominic open underneath, I think is what they're looking to do.
They're really trying to get it to the high post, and again, that is how you really make zone struggle defensively. But Delta's done a nice job of adjusting and taking that pass away.
Cox has it top of the key. We'll give to Kepler. Dishes at the last second. Carter Dominic with a nice bucket. Strokes it.
Two things. Sam Harold set a terrific screen at the elbow. That's the same play as the first play they ran in the first half. Second thing, what a great pass to Carter Dominic to have him hit that corner jumper. Brock's got to be really happy with their offensive execution right now.
Absolutely. James Ruppel has it. He will give to Justin Ruppel. And we're going to get a timeout called by Delta. And Coach Homeyer's fired up. He meets his team on the court. And let's see, is it going to be a 30 or a full? It's going to be a 30. We're just going to keep this one right here and tell you that the timeout tonight being sponsored by Stockman Lawn Service for lawn care, snow removal, fertilizer, and spraying. Call Stockman Lawn Service at 419-636-6572. Now, you see this split screen if you're watching on BryanSports.com. Tell me what the coaches are saying.
This is one of the most beautiful dichotomies I have seen in a long time. I don't know which huddle to watch right now. You've got the Bryan huddle and Brock again keeping his kids fired up, talking to them and emphasizing to continue to do the things they did. And the Delta coach is not happy. I mean, I miss those days where that was just a very emphatic, very serious, this is what we need to start doing. It was terrific.
All right, so Delta will inbound. They get it to James Ruppel, who will hand back off to Bryan Knapp. Knapp working against Cox. Looks like Bears being more active on the defensive end.
They certainly stepped out their pressure another 2 or 3 feet.
Knapp will look to drive, miss the shot, no foul, and the Bears are running it this way. Cox with the basketball. Cox gives to Kepler. Kepler looks to drive, loses the basketball, hits the deck. This should be an easy layup for Bryce Gillen, and it is. So 3-point game, 20-17. Boy, if the Bears had converted there.
Yeah, and they just can't turn it over. I mean, again, that's the 4th or 5th wide open uncontested layup off a turnover Delta has received off their defense. The Bears just got to be conscientious about taking care of the basketball.
Cox with it, he gets into a double team, and they turn it over again as Nolan Reisner stepped in front of it. Now Gillen will have it. It won't be an easy open look, but now a 3-ball for Briar Knapp is no good. Rebound comes down to Reisner. Reisner working against Carter Dominic. He has a high dribble, comes inside, and nice cut by James Ruppel. And quickly it's back to 5 at 4:58 remaining. That was it's not been good the last couple of trips for the Bears. Aren't taking care of the basketball.
Well, the timeout taken by Delta and what he told them in the huddle certainly seems to be paying off right now.
Kepler with the basketball. He will give to Cox. Cox looks to work around some bigs, give it back to Kepler. Sam Harold's waiting out there on the left wing. He's camped out right there.
Yeah, and I think they would like to get Sam really involved offensively here because he has not been real involved this game offensively.
Shot is missed, but nice rebound as Harold able to tip it back to Evan Cox. He knew he couldn't get to that one, but he could at least get a paw on it.
Keep it alive, yep.
Kepler will give to Watson. Now back to Kepler. Kepler working against Bryce Gillen. They get underneath to Watson. Watson will dish outside. Sam Harold picks it up, puts up a shot, and good. 22-19 now, 4 minutes remaining.
Yep, and that was Sam just deciding that he was going to be very aggressive offensively on that.
So Delta coming the other way. Bears coming out to play close D. Doing a nice job of switching off. 3-ball in the air for Briar Knapp is no good. Rebound comes down to Watson, and we're going to get a foul on Nolan Reisner. He seems surprised by that, but when you come down and you whack the guy in the arm, you might get that called.
Oh, as a coach, it drives you nuts because the defensive rebound is secured. Reisner's behind him. He reaches over his back and fouls him 90 feet away from the offensive basket. It just drives you nuts as a coach that they do that. Once the defensive rebound is secured, get back, play defense.
So Bears have it, 3:42 remaining here, third quarter. They trail by 3, 22-19. They get it across court. Sam Harold has it. Now they'll get it into Carter Dominic. Dominic launches a shot. Too tall. Rebound comes down to Delta. James Rupp will get in there and take care of that one. They get it down to Reisner. Reisner looks to drive. Runs, misses the shot, and Watson secures the rebound.
Great move by Reisner. Just didn't finish the play at the basket.
Kepler brings it down. Pace has definitely picked up here in the second half.
It has, and coming out of the timeout, Delta trapped the first 2 possessions, got turnovers, they went away from it. So let's see if and when they go back to the trap.
Kepler with the basketball. He'll give to Langander for top of the key. Now over to Sam Harold. Back to Kepler. Kepler. Back to Harold in the corner. Harold looks to get has the double team, makes a spin move, puts up a hard shot, no good. Rebound comes down to Delta. And Sam Harold almost ends up in the bleachers.
Yeah, a little bit of a forced shot there on Sam, but I understand what he's doing. He's trying to assert himself on the offensive end of the floor.
Justin Ruppel with the basketball. He will give to James Ruppel. They feed underneath. Reisner's there, but too deep, and so he'll dribble back out. Working against Carter Dominic. They get to Jude Gibbons now. 2 working on 2. Gillen has it right side. Another 3-ball for Reisner, no good. Rebound comes down to Watson, and we're going to get a jump ball, and that'll stay right here with Delta. Tell you what, I feel like if Bryan can keep this close here in the third quarter,
absolutely,
the fourth quarter is really going to be where they shine. They had 23 points in the fourth quarter against Elida. Now, a totally different team, but they inbound. Gillen has it. Now to Ruppel, left wing. Feels like a lot of time has gone since any team's made a bucket.
It has. Delta is really patient offensively, and if we get to the timeout, I'd like to talk about what I see out of doing them offensively that we don't see a lot of teams do anymore. But they know what they're doing, and they're executing it very well.
All right, they're going to say this went with Delta. They're closer than I am. That's all I'll say. It looked like it rolled right past Maddox Langendorfer, and he didn't touch it, so I don't know who it went off of. They inbound. Gillen will run right into Dylan Koenig, and then we'll get the foul on the rebound. I think that's going to be on Justin Ruppel. That'll be his third foul.
And that's big because he's one of their better athletes, and he just let one mistake of a missed layup compound into a second one by going over the back on defense.
And now Delta is not pressuring the ball as the Bears come over. Minute 44 remaining, 22-19, third quarter.
Right now, I think Delta's a little concerned about foul trouble, Chris, so I'll be surprised they do a lot of trapping. But then again, you see Bryce Gillen with the steal in the open court. That kid's just a terrific job of anticipating where passes are going to be. He's got great, big, long, athletic arms.
Gillen has no fouls either.
So his long as arm, he literally can play 2-3 feet off of you and still have an impact by pressing.
Joe Watson comes off the court limping just a little bit as they get it into Ruppel. Justin Ruppel looking to go baseline, working on Aiden Pels. Ruppel goes back between the circles. Dylan Koenig defending now on Briar Knapp. Spin move, shot up and good. And the foul is going to be, I think this is on Carter Brown. And it is, so that'll be a bucket for Reisner, and then he'll head to the line. Now the good news is he only shoots 39% from the foul line.
Yeah, this is one of the things that the fourth quarter piece of this you talked about. I want to see where that free throw situation comes into play. A team that shoots 51%, that's a big impact in the fourth quarter.
That is good. So it's now back to it's a 6-point lead now, 25-19. Bears headed all the way down to 3. And let's see if they can get a bucket here. They have got a minute 12 here in the third quarter. A lot of the starters sitting. In fact, it's all reserves except for Cox. Langendorfer with it. Langendorfer looking for some help, and he will get it to Cox. Cox will look to drive, put up a shot at the foul line, off balance, no good. Rebound tipped around and comes down to Delta. They'll give the outlet to Gillen. Gillen stops, and he will get the foul. They'll call a charge.
Yeah, and that's a good call. I know Delta doesn't agree with that call, but that is a good call. Evan got to the spot. He beat in the position. He has that position all the way theoretically to the ceiling. Gillen initiated contact by going forward, so it was the right call.
All right, we've got all the, let's see, Watson's in, Harold's in, Carter Dominic's back. So we've got the starting 5 again. The band's back together, and we'll see what the Bears can do here with 48 seconds to go here, third quarter.
And Coach Homeyer bought some of those starters some extra rest there. So the Bryan bench coming in, doing a nice job,
And again, a turnover, and again, Bryce Gillen puts up a layup. This time he misses, though. Sam Harold with it. Harold working against Gillen. Bears will get it across. Over to Cox.
So interesting as we get to the end of the quarter here. Look how far Bryce Gillen is playing the top of that zone. And literally every pass he has stolen, he has about 7 of the night, has been from a wing to a point pass.
Get it underneath. Kepler puts up a shot, no good. Sam Harold with the pushback. What a shot by Harold. Just kind of pushed it back up there.
Yeah, great job by Sam establishing offensive position. Kept his guy on his back. Just a great, terrific offensive rebound by Sam.
All right, well, we have the end of the third quarter of play, 25-21. Delta back after this on the Golden Bear Sports.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
If you haven't stopped by Bryan Ford Lincoln to test drive the all-electric F-150 Lightning
or the rugged and sporty Ford Bronco, we only have one question for you.
Why not?
This Ford Bronco is great for daily commutes or the Outback.
And this F-150 Lightning will do 0 to 60 in 4 seconds without using a drop of gasoline. When you stop by and see us at Bryan Ford Lincoln, you can test drive either of these great vehicles.
Stop by and see us. We'll help you order the exact vehicle that you want and need.
So stop by and see us today at Bryan Ford Lincoln.
Getting set for the fourth quarter action here on the Golden Bears Sports Network. Delta leads Bryan 25-21 on the main stop scoreboard. And Bears will have it to start the fourth quarter. Main stops are open when you need them. If you're always near a main stop, don't forget about Thirsty Thursday every Thursday, the main stops of Northwest Ohio. Jace Kepler gets the inbound pass from Joe Watson. Now he'll drive, then dish back out to Sam Harold. They were looking for Watson. I don't think he was expecting that. Now to Kepler. Three ball by Sam Harold is no good. Rebound comes down to Delta. I like that we took it.
Yeah, it was a wide open look. Good look by Sam, just didn't go.
It's the first three the Bears have taken here in the game. It comes with 7:30 remaining here. Fourth quarter. Ruppel with the basketball. Justin has it working on Sam Harold. He'll pass over to James Ruppel. Now to Knapp. Knapp will give to Reisner. Reisner back to Ruppel. Bears doing a good job of not giving up the middle.
I'm really looking for Delta to try to get the ball in the post to Reisner or clear out like he has right here to go one-on-one, or to try to get Gillen off a couple double screens.
Knapp with the basketball. Cox playing tight defense on him. And then they give it over to James Ruppel. Now back to Bryan Knapp.
There's the post up by Reisner.
He can't handle it. They dish out to Gillen, who launches a three off front iron. Rebound comes down to Cox.
Good break for Bryan. I don't think Coach Ohlmeyer wanted Gillen's man to double down on the post, but he did, and they got away because he missed a wide open look.
Cox will dish over to Carter Dominic. Now Sam Harold. Harold goes up, puts up a shot. They're going to get a foul. I think he said that was on the floor.
Called it on the floor. Good call.
And let's see what the foul is. Going to be on number 12, Bryce Gillen. That'll be his second. He's had two since we talked about foul trouble.
We cursed him.
Yes, we did. Wouldn't hurt if he had a couple more if you're a Bryan Golden Bears fan.
No, he's caused havoc on both ends of the floor.
He has. Inbound, and they turn it over. They throw it right to Bryce Gillen. Underneath, shot is missed. Gillen gets the rebound. That was James Ruppel, and now we're going to get a foul. I think this is on Carter Dominic. Yep. And I think this might be frustration as Dominic made the pass that got right into Bryce Gillen's hands.
Yeah, it's just a real difficult situation to try to come from behind when you continually turn it over. And it's not just been any one person, it's been a multitude of players. And part of that is the defense Delta's playing, and part of it is, again, Bryan has not combated the things that have caused them trouble. So I'm interested in what they'll do the last 6 minutes.
They'll feed it underneath. It's knocked away by Sam Harold. And Bears coming down with it. Cox has it. Cox gives to Harold. And then they give to Pels. Pels will give to Cox, and the Bears will try to reset things. Kepler with it. In between the circles. He's got Cox on the left wing. Down low, he's got Sam Harold here on the left. Now Pels top of the key. Now back to Cox. Now to Kepler. Kepler drives, puts up a shot. No good. Rebound comes down, and Delta will get it. Watson was in pursuit, just couldn't get to it.
No, and Jace made a nice move there again. Just couldn't finish off the play at the basket.
James Ruppel has it. Again, Bears pretty good in fouls. They just picked up foul number 3. That's Aiden Pels. So they have some options to stop the clock. So Delta has the 4-point lead with 5:21 remaining. It's 25-21 on the May Stop scoreboard. They inbound. Ruppel has it. He'll give to Knapp. Knapp working on Cox. And he'll get underneath. Justin Ruppel has it underneath. Bounce pass over to James Ruppel. Probably practiced that one a time or two.
That is about as good of an offensive execution as you can have on that play. Everything they did with a purpose, set great screens.
3 ball does not go for Cox, and now we're going to get a timeout for Coach Ohlmeyer. And we're probably going to take this one with him. I hope he doesn't have any more 30-second timeouts. The timeouts again being brought to you by Stockman Lawn Service. For lawn care, snow removal, fertilizer, and spraying, call Stockman Lawn Service. Going to do a timeout. Back after this on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
When you're looking for that unusual part like a battery for your key fob, or everyday car parts like windshield washing fluid, wipers, motor oil or filters, antifreeze or batteries. Don't forget to stop by your local Napa store in Bryan. They have the parts in stock. If you're buying any of these parts from anyone other than Napa in Bryan, you're paying too much.
If you want a quality education with transfer opportunities to four-year schools, Northwest State is your community's college.
STEM is everywhere, like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead. STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. The only limit is your imagination. Get inspired at shecanstem.com.
4:55 remaining. Bears trail 21-27 to Delta. Inbound to Sam Harold. Now they'll give to Jace Kepler. Bears need a bucket. I feel like they haven't scored in minutes.
Yeah, that was a really good timeout, I thought, by Coach Omar to draw something up here.
Underneath to Watson, who pumps and puts it up and in.
Nice play coming out of that timeout.
27-23. Let's see if the Bears do a little bit more pressure defense. And we're going to get a foul on the floor against Sam Harold. So that's Sam's second foul, fourth team foul. At this point, unless you've got four, you're not really worrying about personal fouls.
No, and I think both teams now, Della was in a little foul trouble in the third quarter. I think they're both sitting pretty well.
Watson almost had tipped that inbound pass. Reisner will pick up another charge call. The way that they were waiting to whistle that, he came in and cleared Watson out with the elbow.
It's because the underneath official and the out official both blew the whistle at the same time. They both looked at each other. But I think they both were going to call it a charge. Nice play by Joe, keeping his feet and staying in position.
Bears have the basketball. They got 90 feet to get to the basket. They get it across, and it's going to be turnover. And they're saying that it was tipped off of Reisner, but the official did not buy it.
He did not buy it, nor should he have.
So Bears need to really buckle down here and take care of the basketball. Yeah. I think that's what it's going to come down to. It
is.
And we're going to get a traveling violation.
It is a difference in the game right now. The difference is the turnovers that Delta has created that have led to easy points.
Tell you what, Justin Ruppel has been called for 4 or 5 calls, and he's just been very frustrated every time the whistle blows.
I got a chuckle because him and his brother were having words on the floor just now. I'm sure that's a good sibling rivalry at home.
And now he's going to get a foul called. So he had the traveling violation and then the foul.
And that's his fourth foul.
It is his fourth foul. So Kepler is going to go to the line because it's a 7th foul. So we're in the bonus. And we've got a timeout for Coach Matt Brighton, and it's going to be it's going to be a full timeout. So we're going to take it with him with 4 minutes to go here, fourth quarter, 27-23 Delta. Back after this on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
I'm Tom Turnbull of Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory. Family owned, family focused, celebrating our 100th anniversary, 2022.
It's great working with family. The relationship we have with one another allows us to focus on your family and help guide you through the planning process.
We focus in on your family's needs to make sure that everything is done the way that you and your family want.
Right now, our family wants a Golden Bear victory.
Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory. Family owned, family focused.
Back out on the Golden Bear Sports Network, 27-23 Delta leads. You've got about 15 seconds before we go back into play. Thoughts?
Bryan takes care of the basketball. They get shots. They have a chance. On the other end of the floor, Delta maintains the lead at some point. Bryan has to foul them. Where does that 51% free throw shooting team come into play?
There you have it, 27-23. Excuse me. 4:10 remaining here, fourth quarter. I'm really surprised that I was at 4 minutes. I said we went to break. I didn't have the time up there. I said we got about 4 minutes left, and look at there.
You were correct.
That one is up and good for Jace Kepler, so now 27-24. And the Bears definitely need to score some points with the clock off. That's also very helpful.
Very helpful.
Second one is going to be short. Rebound comes down to Joe Watson. Watson will go right back up, and he will go to the line for 2. Boy, I wish that one would have fell down.
He has learned the art on the free throw line of stepping in and pinning the underneath guy to where if it's a long rebound like it was, he puts himself in position to get a bunch of those.
So Watson will head to the line. First one is good. 27-25. 2-point ball game. Bears looking for their first league win, and Coach Homeyer also looking for his first league win. Next one, up and good. What a touch there. 27-26, 4:08 remaining.
Bryan showing a little pressure.
Let's see if they can D it up here. And
you know, with only 14 fouls, if they get into a situation where they have to foul, they can't afford to not have Delta in the one-on-one. So I think it'd be okay for them to be a little aggressive these next couple possessions.
Shot is missed. Rebound comes down to Carter Dominic. That was James Ruppel. Bears trail by 1, 3:46 remaining. 27-26 on the main stop scoreboard. Kepler with the shot, no good. Long rebound comes down to Reisner.
Bryan has had a lot of luck tonight with screening the top of that zone. I wish they would do it more often because they've gotten great looks every time.
They get it underneath, and we're going to get a missed shot, and we're going to get a foul on Joe Watson as Nolan Reisner just blew past him.
Great job by the Delta coaching staff. They ran that set knowing Bryan was going to step out and pressure, and they ran a backdoor to Reisner. Beautifully executed play. Great call by the Delta coaching staff.
Reisner shooting 39% from the field, or from the foul line. That one's good.
He didn't look like a 39%.
No, he doesn't. That looked good.
That looked pretty good.
Right. Free throws being brought to you by Welling Construction. Welling Construction, a third-generation family-owned general contractor. For quality custom homes, major renovation projects, and commercial work, call 419-636-3712. He made both of them. Wow.
He made both of them.
So there was your theory there about, is that going to come back to haunt them? So far it hasn't.
They'll shoot a few more, trust me.
Yes, they will. Sam Harold has it here on the wing, being double-teamed right now. Gives over to Jace Kepler. Kepler will put it between the circles. And
you know, and the issue with Delta right now, with Ruppel being out with 4 fouls, I don't think Coach Brighton feels like he can trap an attack out of his defense like he could early on.
Bears with crisp passes moving along. 3-point lead for Delta, 29-26. Kepler with the basketball. Kepler looking for some help. He gets it underneath to Watson. They'll give it back to Cox, who launches a 3. Is short. Rebound saved.
Nice play by Joe.
Watson ended up in our cameraman basically, and now it's a turnover for Delta, or to Delta. 2:32 remaining.
See if Bryan traps out of this defense, maybe tries to get something. Oh.
Sam Harold will pick up a foul, and that was just bumped into him as he was falling down already.
That was just a matter of getting your feet tangled up.
Yep. So that's the 6th foul, meaning the next foul the Golden Bears commit, Delta will be shooting.
Delta will be shooting the 1-and-1.
Yep. Bryan has 6, Delta has 8 fouls, so it'll be the 1-and-1 the rest of the way until it's 2. We'll be shooting the rest of the way, I guess. They get it inbounds to Justin Ruppel. Ruppel working against Sam Harold. Ruppel looking to blow by Harold. Not able to do that. Reisner with the basketball now. Reisner go left side to Gillen, and we're going to get a foul called on Jace Kepler. Kepler basically grabbed the basketball, but I think he also grabbed some arm on the way by.
Yeah, Jace was about a half a step away from having a great defensive play there.
So heading to the line is Bryce Gillen. He's a 79% free throw shooter.
So the 39% shooter buries 2. Let's see what the 79% shooter does.
And he makes the first one. He's a good player.
Oh, he is as good as advertised. Yep. Where I've been impressed with him is how good he is defensively.
Yep. So 30-26, 2:06 remaining 4th quarter. Delta leads Bryan on the main stop scoreboard. Next one is good as well. Back to a 5-point lead.
Yeah, this is certainly, Bryan's still very much in the game. They just need a really good offensive possession here. They need to get a basket. They need to get to the foul line.
Ooh, and there, the turnover. Kepler just couldn't handle the pass. And we're going to get a timeout called by Coach Homemeyer, and I'm getting a little worried about the time. 2 minutes left to go, a 5-point lead, 31-26. Bears haven't been shooting particularly well, so let's see what Coach Homemeyer has to say during the timeout. We're going to take it with him. Back after this on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
Back out on the Golden Bear Sports Network, 31-26, 2 minutes left here as Delta leads Bryan. And this is a good game. Chris Malanga and Tim Meister with you. This is a great game.
Yeah, it's been a very hard-fought game. Both teams have played very hard. I'm sure neither coach is overly excited about some of the sloppiness. But I think that has come down to the two teams playing so hard against each other that's created some of that.
So Delta will inbound on the far sideline. He really doesn't have anybody inbound to, but they get it in to Reisner.
And I think at this point, if I'm Bryan, I know who I want to foul. And I think I foul in the next 15 seconds. I want to make this a free throw shooting contest, knowing, again, some of Delta's woes at the line.
You don't want to foul that guy.
No, nope.
There's Brian Knapp with the basketball. Delta looking to drive. Shot is up, no good. He gets his own rebound up and good. Wow. 33-26. And Delta continues that pressure defense. Bears have had trouble with this.
They have.
They get it across the timeline. Watson almost picked up the foot, but he didn't. And Bears will continue with possession with 1:19 remaining, down 7. They have to do something quick here. Carter Dominic will give to Sam Harold, who launches a three, no good. Rebound underneath. Kepler hits the deck, and no fouls called. Looks like they're just going to let him play here as we get towards the end here. Gillen with it, loses the basketball, and they're going to get bailed out with a foul. Ooh, I don't know about that. That's going to be on Evan Cox.
Yeah, I was blocked from the view. I couldn't see. Said he grabbed him on the arm.
All right, we're going to get a couple subs in. We're going to see Langendorfer check in and Carter Brown. Maybe a little offense for defense here.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, 59.7 to go, 33-26. Bears had this down to 3, right? They led early on, but they had it to 3 here in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And just not able to get any closer right now.
Yeah, and down 6, they still have 2 timeouts left, or should be down 8 with 2 timeouts left. Chris, they still have time. They're going to get 3 or 4 more possessions here.
That one is up and good. So the person that is averaging 16 a game just got his 16. Kepler moves the basketball, and there's going to be a turnover, and that's going to go back to Delta. It's just been tough going with the Delta defense and the Golden Bears. It has just been rough.
Yeah, and you can see the frustration on the Bryan kids. They're just playing hard. They just have had some tough breaks tonight.
Delta almost loses the dribble there, and now it's a double team, and we're going to get a timeout called by Coach Brighton. We're just going to keep this one right here. 35-26.
Same thing on the charge call about 2 minutes ago. Both officials blew the whistle at the same time.
They looked at each other.
Yeah, Tim Kopsky across the way was going to call a foul, and Gary Horstman was right beside the Delta coach and had the timeout. They just looked at each other. So,
well, it's 35-26, and when you look at this score right now, you look at it and you think, boy, this Delta really handled the Golden Bears, but this score is not indicative. I mean, it was down to 3 just a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, the last 2.5, 3 minutes this quarter was just disastrous for Bryan.
Inability to make a shot.
Yeah, and I think they also probably had as many turnovers as shot attempts. But again, let's credit Delta because they've done a great job defensively of causing some issues.
They get the ball, and now they got a trap in the corner, and we're going to get a foul on Koenig. That'll be his first.
Yep, good foul.
So 39.4, and chance here to get it to a 10-point lead, or maybe even 11. Jude Gibbons is 100% from the line.
Let's see if
and
you,
he continues to be during this game.
Yeah, let's see if you curse him, Chris.
Oh, I did.
You did.
He's now 99.8%. Kepler, Koenig brings up the ball. Gets it over to Carter Brown, who launches a three. No good. Rebound comes down to Delta. 26, and a quick foul for Maddox Langendorf for 26 seconds remaining. And it's going to be tough here for the Golden Bears to come back from this one with 26 seconds, but a hard-fought basketball game, and again, you just see the progress that the kids have been making over the course of the season, and one of these will happen.
You know, let's not forget, Delta is 7-2 for a reason.
Yep.
I mean, they're a quality basketball team. Bryan put themselves in a position to have a chance to win the game in the fourth quarter. And I know as a young coach, it's so frustrating because you want to measure your success by wins and losses. But Brock's at a part of his program where he has to measure his success. Are we continually getting better? Our individual kids continually getting better? And they are.
10-point lead for Delta, 26 seconds for the Bears. Delta relentless still with that pressure defense. Sam Harold with the basketball. He'll drive, put up a shot off balance. It's up and good. 17 seconds to go. And Delta bring it up, stolen away by Langendorfer. And Langendorfer will put up a shot, no good. Rebound comes down to Carter Brown. Coaches yelled, don't foul, and I think the Delta player stopped picking up his ball. And Alex Langendorfer said, I don't have to foul, but I can steal this one from you. And so the main stop scoreboard at the end of this one shows 36-28 in favor of the Delta Panthers. I'm going to borrow your pen for just a second and write this one down. 36-28. Delta will go to 8-2 on the season. Golden Bears will go to 3-9. Going to take this time out, come back with our post-game report after this on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
I'm Tom Turnbull of Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory. Family-owned, family-focused, celebrating our 100th anniversary, 2022.
It's great working with family. The relationship we have with one another allows us to focus on your family and help guide you through the planning process.
We focus in on your family's needs to make sure that everything is done the way that you and your family want.
Right now, our family wants a Golden Bear victory.
Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory. Family-owned, family-focused.
When you're looking for that unusual part like a battery for your key fob, or everyday car parts like windshield washing fluid, wipers, motor oil or filters, antifreeze or batteries, don't forget to stop by your local Napa store in Bryan. They have the parts in stock. If you're buying any of these parts from anyone other than Napa in Bryan, you're paying too much.
Here at the Williams County Veteran Service Office, our mission is plain and simple. We are here to serve our local Williams County veterans and their dependents. We are staffed with trained service officers who have the compassion and understanding to assist their fellow veterans in obtaining all federal and state benefits that they have earned. Additionally, we provide emergency financial assistance and transportation to VA medical centers. So if you're a veteran or a dependent of a veteran, stop in today and see how we can help you at the Williams County Veteran Service Office.
Why do so many people travel to Jason Eats Automotive Services in Edgerton when they want their vehicles repaired? Because Dave Brown and Sam Bailey have over 60 years of experience fixing the problems that other mechanics couldn't. They work on all makes and models, and they specialize on imports. Recently, they have expanded their service area by almost 50%, and they've hired Eston Knerk to their staff. So if you have a vehicle, foreign or domestic, that you want fixed right the first time, take it to Jason Dietsch Automotive Services on the east side of Edgerton.
Back out on the Golden Bears Sports Network. Final score 36-28. Delta defeats the Golden Bears, and Delta picks up their first league win. They sit at 1-1 in the league. 8-2 overall for Coach Matt Brighton. Meanwhile, Bryan goes to 3-9 overall and 0-2 in the NWOAL. Chris Malanga and Tim Meister with you. And Tim, you got some final stats for us?
Got some final scoring for Delta. Knapp with 1, Gibbons with 2, James Ruppel with 8, Reisner with 9, and leading the way for the Delta Panthers was Bryce Gillen with 16 and a multitude of other stats as well.
He did.
He can sure stuff a stat sheet. For the Bryan Golden Bears, Langendorfer with 2. Dominic with 2. Cox with 3. Kepler with 3. Sam Harold with 8. And leading the way for the Golden Bears tonight, Joe Watson with 10.
There you have it, 36-28, your final score. We're going to take a 30-second timeout, come back with more after this on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
If you want a quality education that leads to great, endless opportunities for future success, Northwest State is your community's college.
In this game.
Back out on the Golden Bear Sports Network, Chris Malanga, Tim Meister, your final score, 36-28. Delta wins this one. And, let's take some final thoughts on this one.
Well, it was an interesting game in the sense that both teams in their defensive effort created a really difficult time for both offenses. I think that, as you see the score 28-36, probably caused some of the scoring. Very impressed with Delta's ability to not only play defense well, but understand and execute their game plan, because they really baited Bryan into some of the similar turnovers over and over again. Super impressed with Bryce Gillen. He came into this mostly touted for his scoring. When this game is over, I'll tell you, Chris, he's much more than an offensive player.
He is.
He is as disruptive of a player and as smart of a player as I've seen this year. And he had 10 in the first half, and he could have came out in the second half and shot 50 times. He probably took less than 5 or 6 shot attempts in the second half because he recognized defensively what Bryan was trying to do. And instead of forcing the issue, he just got his other teammates involved and got Resner and Ruppel and those kids some points.
Yeah, James Ruppel had 10, so 2 in double figures. All right, let's put up the next 5 for the Golden Bears and talk about this one, because as you know, as coaching for so many years, you've got the back-to-back Friday, Saturday nights, and the Golden Bears are going to have to go on the road to Van Wert tomorrow night, and then they're going to play Patrick Henry. I'm trying to see where there we go, at Patrick Henry. Then they go at Fairview, and that game will be on the queue. And then at Liberty Center, the game also on the queue, and then at Bath. So the next 5 are away from the friendly confines of the Bears Den here. So, that's a rough one for the Golden Bears.
Yeah, it's tough. You'd like to play a couple games at home in that stretch, and obviously playing, 5 very good teams. But there is not a team on there that they can't compete with and put themselves in a situation to win games in the fourth quarter again. And for Coach Homeyer and the Bryan coaching staff and the Bryan kids, again, you need to put this one to bed. Understand what didn't go well tonight, get better at it. But you know what? You put it to bed. Tomorrow's a new day. You get better. You try to play better at Van Wert. You keep trying to build and progress. This is the absolute worst time of the season to try to get down on yourself or to have a negative attitude. It is okay. Tomorrow's a new day. Let's get better. And that's where they're at. And as long as these kids keep playing hard, they keep listening, and you can see the effort on the floor. None of these kids have given up. They're going to have some success this year. I truly believe by the end of the year, they're going to win a few more games.
Absolutely. We want to thank our sponsors bringing you the game tonight. Before we say sayonara on this one, Andrews O'Neill and Lowe, the Bryan Athletic Boosters, Bryan Ford Lincoln, Bryan Parks and Rec, Danielle Van Atta Agency, Fackler Monument, Jason Dietsch Automotive Services, Laub Auto Parts, Newcomer, Schaefer, Spangler, Briner and Rakes, Northwest State Community College, Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, Real Estate Advantage, Starks Plumbing and Heating, and Williams County Veterans Services. I want to thank our broadcast crew. First, I want to thank our athletic department, Chad Savage and Teresa Kuzmal. Our director engineer is Krista Bruner. Our cameras tonight, Tristan Atkinson and John Tripodi. Tony Malenga was our producer. Our board op back at WQCT is Ben Murray. And our stationed sports director at WOSN is Ben Reif. Our next game is going to be tomorrow afternoon as the Lady Bears host St. Mary's. Coverage begins around 1:45 on WQCT. This is a radio game only, so we'll only have that one for you on the queue. This game is going to air tomorrow at 3:30 on WOSN. You can watch that game on Spectrum Channel 19 or Channel 26 on your antenna. This broadcast is a collaboration between WQCT Radio, BryanSports.com, and the West Ohio Sports Network. This broadcast is for the proper use of our audience. Any duplication or the use of this broadcast, including descriptions or accounts of the game, without the express written consent of the Golden Bear Sports Network is prohibited. The Golden Bear Sports Network is a free public service of Malanga Enterprises, LLC. All rights reserved. One final time for Tim Meister and all of us at the Golden Bear Sports Network.
If you haven't stopped by Bryan Ford Lincoln to test drive the all-electric F-150.
Hey, everybody. Keeping the music going now on Q96.5. Here's John Travolta.